that's awkward. All right, third time's the charm. Dang it. Hi, okay, so I forgot my little handy phone holder thing, and I think I'm just gonna have to hold my phone because I can't figure out how to balance my phone. So today I'm going to talk about how to emotionally cope with having breast cancer. And obviously this can be applied to having any kind of cancer, not just breast cancer, but the things that I'm going to talk about are things that I did to cope starting from pretty shortly after I received my diagnosis. And for me, two of the hardest things about my diagnosis were, one was the fact that so many things were out of my control. You know, I couldn't control the fact that I was diagnosed, the fact that I was going to need to have chemo, the fact that I was going to need to have mastectomy, so many things, and just my life in general felt like it was out of my control. And then also change. Change has always been really hard for me. And there is a ton of change that comes along once you're diagnosed with cancer. Your life just gets flipped upside down, and life as you knew it is no longer. So these were some things that I think really helped me kind of stay grounded and stay pretty positive even throughout most of my treatment. And I'm obviously not done with my treatment, so I'm still kind of working on these things. But yeah, I thought that maybe sharing some of these things that have helped me might help you. So one of the things that I did was I focused or just stayed conscious of the things that were going to remain the same, because like I said before, there's so much change once you receive your diagnosis. And some of those examples are the love that I have for myself, the love that I have for my husband, for my children, my parents, my friends, and the love that they have for me. And then there were other things too that weren't so deep, like my favorite TV shows were still going to be on every Thursday or Tuesday or whatever the case was. And one of my best friends, we decided to have a weekly date where we would it was during the pandemic, so we would stay in our cars a little distance away and get a Starbucks drink. And so we decided that we were going to do that every Sunday, and so we did. So I think you get the gist. Just reminding myself of the things that were going to remain the same really, I think, kind of helped me stay and feel a little bit more grounded. Oh my gosh, that light. Another thing that I did was I focused on things that I could look forward to. So this could range from something pretty extravagant and more of like a long-term thing that you're looking forward to just a weekly thing that you're going to be looking forward to. So for me, my parents and my husband worked on Fridays. So my parents and I decided that we were going to order takeout every Friday. And so that was really nice because none of us had to worry about cooking, and it was just like a little weekly treat. And also for me, it was kind of like a little marker representing, okay, I've made it one more week. And then there are also bigger things. So I think I've mentioned in a previous video, I can't remember, but pretty shortly after we received my diagnosis, my husband and I decided that we want to renew our vows. So that's kind of on the more grand scale. So kind of thinking and even just fantasizing about what that's going to be like has been really fun for me, and just something to look forward to. A light at the end of the tunnel always helps me. So something else that I did was I tried to focus on other people and helping other people if it was possible. After I received my diagnosis, I thought about myself all the time. And I mean, I think that that's natural once you get a cancer diagnosis, to think about yourself and to think about, you know, what's going to happen to you and how you're going to feel during your treatment and after treatment and all of those things. But I was kind of getting annoyed of thinking about myself all the time. So I really tried to focus some energy on other people, mainly my friends or family that maybe were also going through a struggle. And it wouldn't even be necessarily a medical struggle, but any kind of struggle in their life. And I think we're all going through struggles no matter what, you know, no matter where we are in life. But certain people who I think were struggling a little bit more, I just made more of a conscious effort to reach out to them and check in with them and see how they were doing and see if there was anything I could do to help. And that, I think, really helped kind of take me away from me for a little bit, because I think it can be really draining to be constantly thinking about yourself and about your treatment and about your prognosis and all of those kinds of things. And I think it can be really energizing and recharging to think about other people and focus on other people. And I just tried to do whatever I could to help them. So mostly that was checking in by text message or FaceTime or phone calls. And then there were also a couple times where I was able to actually go out and do something to physically help them in one way or another, like picking up lunch or something like that. So doing that, I think, really did help me emotionally cope with what was going on with me by focusing on others. Another thing that I did and am doing is practicing gratitude and appreciation. And I was already kind of working on this even before my cancer diagnosis, but oh my goodness, after receiving a cancer diagnosis, it just took this to a whole new level. And I think to a certain extent, it's really easy to take a lot of little things for granted. And it still is. I'm definitely not perfect at this by any means. And especially during the really hard times when I'm kind of going through a darker, heavier time, this is harder to do, but I think it becomes even more important to do. So what I did and what I still do is I try to just look around me, even if I'm just in my living room, and think about all of the things that I'm grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for my daughters. I'm grateful to be able to see them smile and hear them giggle. If I look out the window, maybe I'm grateful to see a beautiful sunny day or a butterfly that flew outside by the window. Maybe if I step outside, I'm grateful to be able to feel the breeze on my skin. Maybe it's just the fact that I have a roof over my head, or the fact that I'm able to afford to eat 3 meals and give my children 3 meals a day. And just little things like that. They're all such easy things to take for granted, but I think it really helps me when I kind of take a step back and be observant of what's around me and what I have, and remember that I am grateful for these things and I am appreciative of these things. Okay, one of the biggest things that helped me emotionally cope during my chemotherapy was being intentional with my time that I was receiving chemotherapy. And so for me, what I was intentional with was working on my YouTube channel. So I would edit my YouTube videos while I was sitting down receiving my chemotherapy. I think especially in our adult lives, we're so busy and we're always on the go. So it was kind of a gift to be able to be given a 3-hour chunk of time once a week to do whatever I wanted. Well, not whatever I wanted. I had to stay in the chemo chair, but you know what I mean. So I decided to use that time intentionally to edit my YouTube videos, and it felt really good because I felt productive and it was working on this project which I felt was, sort of helping me process things, and I was hoping that it would help other people in my shoes. So that really helped me a lot. But it could certainly be different for you. Maybe you could work on a certain goal that you've had sort of in the back of your mind and use that time to get closer to that goal. Or maybe you just barely ever get a time to relax and you can use that time intentionally to relax. Maybe you could read a book that you've been wanting to read, or you can watch Netflix, or I don't know, sleep. But I think the point of this was using that time purposefully for something really helped me. And then the last thing that really helped was having someone to talk to. And I think talking to someone who you really trust, who you can share the good, the bad, and the ugly with, is really, really important, because sometimes it just sucks what you have to go through with cancer. And I think it's really important to be able to just bear it all and not sugarcoat things and just let someone know how you're actually feeling. So that really helped me a lot. And if you happen to not have a lot of those people in your life, I really think considering going into therapy would be really helpful, to be able to have that person who you can talk to, vent to, and maybe who can help you gain some coping skills on how to deal with all of these really stressful things going on in your life. So those are the things that I think helped me emotionally cope since receiving my diagnosis. And I'm still working on these things. And even though I do think generally I was able to keep a pretty positive mindset through all of this, I definitely still still have hard days, and if you didn't see the video that I sort of spontaneously made in the middle of one of my hard days, I will put a link to that up here. We're not perfect, and even if you are doing everything you can to cope with your cancer diagnosis, I think we're all just human and we're all gonna have hard days. So I hope you found this video to be helpful, and stay tuned because next time I'll be talking about how to talk to your young kids about your cancer diagnosis. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.